20s. This is the age group in which you get your first taste of independence, your first job, first salary, first time you get money in your own account, the first time you can decide what you want to do with your money. Nobody is going to ask you anything on how you are spending your money, what sort of lifestyle you are leading with that particular money. But in the excitement of all these things, there are few things which you should do, and if you do them correctly, you will be thankful for them for entire remaining life. And that is where most of us, including myself, have faltered. So in this particular video, I'll tell you few financial mistakes which I had done when I was in 20s and which you should avoid to have a better future. Hi, I'm Nishant Gupta. I'm a personal finance consultant and I welcome you to Save More Money, where I simplify personal finance and help you become financially independent. Before going ahead, a small request. If you like today's video, please remember to click on the like, subscribe and share button. Albert Einstein once said that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and if done properly, it can give you wonderful results in future. And this is where I made the biggest mistakes of my life when I was in 20s. I ignored this particular rule and I never considered that I should start investing. Just to give you an example, if you start investing only 1000 rupees per month in an SIP when you start your job, that 1000 rupees, if invested regularly for the next 30 years, that will turn into 60 lakh of rupees at a 15% average. So that is where I faltered. Yes, I did start my SIPs early, but I did not allow them to grow. I started the SIPs and after a few years I withdrew the money. I used it for my MBA graduation, for something else, for expenses, for my foreign trips and other things. So avoid that particular mistake. Have one SIP where you invest regularly. Start with 1000 rupees of money or whatever you can afford and gradually increment it every year when you get your salary hike. Just increase your SIP by 10% or 5% or whatever, and that will give you lots and lots of money in your corpus. You will not have to worry about retirement corpus. I know it sounds very silly to think about retirement when you have just started your earning career, but trust me, start saving small amount of money via SIPs and incrementally invest. That will help you a long way going forward. The one thing which is not taught in our schools or colleges is the basic difference between an asset and a liability. And this is where many of us get confused and invest in building our liabilities thinking that they are assets. So all your cars, electronic items, mobile phones, watches, clothes, expensive shoes, expensive jewelry, everything of those are your liabilities. They are not assets. They will not help your money grow or they will not help you in times of emergency. They are just to satisfy your immediate pleasure, and this is where I had faltered. So I'm not saying that you should not buy expensive stuff. Do buy that because your 20s is the age when you do not have much dependencies on you. Do spend on things, but just pause for a moment before swiping the card or before giving the money. Think whether you really want it and whether you really want that particular variant or whether you can live with a version which is at a lesser price than that. For example, people who love iPhone, I'll not say not to buy it. If you love it, if you have money, go for it. But just think whether you want to buy of iPhone 12s or you can live with a lower version of iPhone 12. So maybe iPhone 12s की जगह iPhone 12 या iPhone mini or something similar. So when you are earning, when you have just started your job, in your 20s, you will be switching your jobs frequently. Now, what happens is you are not thinking of retirement at that particular time, and the general feeling or the general tendency is that provident fund में हमारा जो contribution हुआ है, let's withdraw that. It will give us some nice corpus and we'll use that for something, maybe a foreign holiday or buying something really expensive or a house loan EMI or something else. But what you do not realize is that any dip into your future retirement corpus will have a significant impact. So I had done a video earlier on compound interest wherein I showed what happens if you withdraw even a small amount of corpus from your retirement. You will never be able to recover that particular amount because the compound interest will drastically have a cascading effect. If you want to watch that video, the link is available in the description section. Please watch that and you will really understand what I am saying. Just remember, if you are shifting jobs, do not withdraw the money. Instead of that, what you can do is ensure that your PF is transferred from previous employer to the new employer. Nowadays, there is a UAN number, Universal Account Number, which it's unique to you, and you can use this for all the companies you are working in. So while you are changing your job, just use this UAN number. Submit a request for portability of your fund from previous employer to the current employer, and using UAN you can track that the money has been shifted to the current PF account. In India, tax saving is a very big thing. We all constantly try to find new ways in which tax can be saved. And just to save some amount of tax, we are ready to invest 1.5 lakh in some products which we do not even understand at times. And this is what happens to majority of people in 20s. You purchase endowment policies, you purchase ULIP plans, you purchase policies which give you low returns and are not even giving you proper insurance covers just in the name of tax saving. So instead of that, what should you do? So before deciding whether you want to invest in ATC or not, I will recommend you to first decide whether you want to go with old tax regime or new tax regime. Old tax regime, you will get the deductions and the benefit, but remember that you will have to pay 1.5 lakh rupees to get that particular 30% or 20% deduction of your salary. सो उतना मनी आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं हर साल जस्ट टू गेट द डिडक्शंस, उससे बेटर है go for a new tax regime, save that 1.5 lakh of rupees, invest that somewhere else or use that somewhere else on products which give you higher returns. If you still want to go with ATC, then instead of investing in ULIPs, endowment plans or low return policies, you're better off investing in schemes like PPF, Public Provident Fund, VPF, Voluntary Provident Fund, NPS, National Pension Scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi Scheme, Education Loan, Home Loan, ELSS, Equity Linked Savings Scheme. These should be the only modes in which you are investing your hard-earned money to avail tax deductions. उसके अलावा अगर कोई और आपको बोलता है कि इसमें इन्वेस्ट करो, simply refuse, क्योंकि वो आपके रिटर्न्स बहुत कम रहेंगे. Nowadays, most of us would have seen the mutual funds ad on TV or newspaper or anywhere else. And everyone says mutual fund sahi hai and people start investing in it. But one mistake which people do in their 20s is to invest in large cap mutual funds. So if you are investing towards the goal of education, marriage, house or anything else which is in the next 5 to 7 years, then yes, definitely invest in large cap mutual funds. But if you're thinking of a long-term perspective beyond 10 years and investing in large cap, then I think you are better off investing in mid cap or small cap. In long run, they'll give you much higher returns than large cap, and you will not have that higher risk because in longer run, ultimately the profits will come. When you are in your 20s, say the first half of 20s, 22, 23, when you just started earning, and if you're financially independent, your parents and your family members are taken care of, you do not have to support them financially, and if you do not have any other loans or liabilities, you do not need a term insurance in that case. Do not buy it. But when you get married, when you buy a house, when you get a loan, when you have kids, that's the time when term insurance becomes very important, and that's the time when you have to buy term insurance. I have also written a blog on common mistakes which people make while buying term insurance. I'll mention the link in the description section below. Please remember to read that. It's a very insightful article and I'm sure you will like it. So, this is on the term insurance part. Health insurance. In your early 20s, there are very less chances that you will have some medical conditions. So, even if you do not have health insurance of your own, it is okay. If you are covered only from your employer side, that is perfectly fine. But after 25 or maybe 28 years of age, buy a health insurance. The thing is that with term insurance, your premiums do not change. They stay the same for your entire life. So it's always good to buy term insurance early and get it at lower premium. But with health insurance, the premiums keep changing every few years. As and when you grow old, the premiums increase. So there is no point buying it early when 99% of the time you will not even need it. Instead, buy it only after 27, 25, 28 years of age. So that's it, guys. Those were the tips from my side on the financial mistakes you should avoid when you are in 20s. I hope you liked today's video. Please remember to like, subscribe and share. Until next time, this is Nishant signing off. Bye, take care, tada.